Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. From Studio A, welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Show. You are, we are, and we all are. The whole earth is.
We
all
be.
Things automotive.
Everywhere in the
that's
universe.
very inclusive, Don. Good job.
Thank you very much. I try to.
Speaking of inclusive, we have Gina coming up.
Well, yes, we do. Yeah. Along with Mike out of this world.
where
Mark,
he was going with that.
I'm trying to keep up. Of course, y'all are probably trying to keep up with me, and hell, I'm trying to keep up with me. Are you kidding?
Prevagen is
along
good.
with it's kicked in. I can remember yesterday, but right now, nah. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, and King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. And we talked to Gina Child-Knowles about local racing out at Houston Motorsports Park. And it goes under the umbrella of the Texas Short Track Racing Series. There's an event coming up next Saturday night, the Labor Day Shootout, or I don't know what she's titled it, but it's the Labor Day race. What, Gina? What are you calling it?
The advanced auto.
Labor Day Classic.
The Labor Day Classic.
Advanced Auto Parts Labor Day Classic.
Okay. Well, I knew it was something, but
Good try.
I'm going to write it in big letters so it's in front of Don.
Labor Day Classic. No, I've got it because
Everybody's writing it down.
nobody can read my writing, and so I don't have to worry about somebody looking over my shoulder. But Gina, what I wanted to talk to you about this hour is from a promoter's standpoint. Now, you know, as I mentioned last hour when I talked to you, that it was like, okay, so you kind of are the dance queen. You kind of have to do the dance for everybody, bring everybody together. This is the way we're going to run the race. These are the categories of cars that we're going to have here. This is when we're going to wave the green flag. This is when the flyover is going to happen. You put together the time schedule, and then you bring everybody together. But I want to know how that all starts, because you had to start from scratch. So how do you start? How do you begin building a actual Texas Short Track Racing Series card? How do you do that? How does that start?
Well, it starts at the kitchen table.
Good.
Over a beer or two, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and it's usually during the week I'll reach out and ask key people on the team their thoughts and how would they do it. And I take all those ways and I think about how I would do it. And then I sit down with Bo, my husband, and we develop it there. It is a very timely process and stressful too.
Gina, all I can see.
You must have touched your phone because all it says is Gina's iPhone.
Yeah, but we can hear you, I think. Can we still hear you?
No, we dropped her. She dropped.
We dropped you.
She dropped. Okay.
Gina, we'll be right back with you in a couple of moments.
Yeah, but at any rate, so, okay, well, and that only makes sense. So you sit down at the kitchen table, you talk to a bunch of folks.
Well, and I imagine she has a template that she's used before that's
Okay, she's
worked.
back. Okay, you're back now. So can we, no, no, are you muted? Who's muted here? Somebody's muted. You know, it's the damnedest thing. Okay,
there we go.
There she
okay,
is.
now you are. Okay, so we sat down.
It's my damn husband's fault. We play at the table when we're making the schedule and he calls and interrupts the call. It's endless.
I got it. I got you. Okay, so we start at the kitchen table. Bo is there, and y'all have already talked to race car drivers and other people that are instrumental in putting the race together, and you get all these ideas, and you sit down with a piece of paper and go, okay, well, let's do it this way.
Well, and you probably have to look to a degree of what classes fill up for you as well in the past, and that's kind of
definitely. And I look at other race schedules. I log on to a lot of short tracks around the U.S. and look at how they schedule stuff. I like to watch shows of the race, you know, how they're presented and things. I ask a lot of people and think about a lot of things, and then I think about how our crowd, how Houston fans would want to see the show. I've gotten on the website NASCARHouston.com. I've got a where you can click on give me your 2 cents, and I've gotten a response from a man and his little son continuously, and I listened to his advice. And the last show, I actually did it the way that he had recommended, and I saw him there with his son, and he said thank you. He finally got to see a truck race, because usually they're later in the schedule. So in the summer, I try to accommodate that and do something a little different.
Well, I want to compliment you on it, because I know that from working with you this year, that it has been a goal of yours for the green flag to wave at 7 o'clock and have the racing over with for the night at 9:30. And I think that is an absolutely brilliant plan, and I have to compliment you, because 2 weeks ago, in the last race over there, that it ended at 9:30. How great is that? Because it gives you as a family enough time to get the kids home and in bed. Heck, man, I was at home by 10:30.
Well, and I could be home where I am at by 11:15.
Yeah, so everybody could get home. And I think that's also an important part, because you had mentioned last hour when we talked to you, you had gone to a race out there, and the race didn't end until midnight or 12:30. Who's left?
And then you got to get home.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a length of a movie. That's what you want it. The length of a movie. So for me, I want all of the racers to have the same amount of fans watching them. I want the same value for every racer out there. And if you run them late, you're not giving those racers any chance at making their sponsors happy or earning new fans.
Okay.
That's super important.
Let me ask you this. So why do you put the eco stocks first and the trucks or the big cars at the very end? What made you do it in that order?
Well, typically that's the way it's been done. Usually it's your feature of the night, your big race. It will be last. your last class, right?
So it's kind of like an undercard.
I like to mix it up too. And I do like the races that are structured like that. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess when you go to another show, the big guys, the monster trucks, the big guys come last. But sometimes I think in summertime, I think you should change it up, because summers are different. The crowd's different. They're in a different mode than they are in a non-summertime. So summers, I kind of play with. I want to play with the schedule a little bit.
Okay.
My husband doesn't like it, because he's got to change the template up, and it drives him nuts when I do this.
But that's part of your job.
That's what wives are for.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. So I want to know: we're going to see the NASCARts again? Am I going to see the Legend cars again?
Not this race on September 5th. The NASCARs, those guys most of them work in an industry where they're constantly working right now. There's no rest, I guess. So we don't have but a couple. You
can't fill the field.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they will be back hopefully one time at least this year.
Okay.
Legends, no, they're not here this race.
All right, and I guess that what needs to be said here is the fact that that's part of playing the juggling act, because you have to look at what else is drawing them, because there may be a big purse for, let's just say, the Legends cars
somewhere else,
or the NASCAR trucks. You have to look at where they're racing, because everybody gets pulled in different directions.
Right.
I know that there was a race the night before your race 2 weeks ago in Florida, because I talked to a couple of drivers, and they said, yeah, so they got rained out. They were in Florida for an event on Friday night. They drove all the next day to get to her race on Saturday night, because they are so compassionate about what they do.
The racers, they want to race.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So she's got to keep all of that in mind. And I think that that's an important thing for you for everybody to understand what you're dealing with. Okay. So let's talk just a moment, if you will, about the staff, all of the people that you've got there, because You've got officials. You got the guy that does. Is it Denny Burton out there that does tech inspections?
Right, he runs our whole tech. He's
and he's a former racer because I remember him. I think at Myers Speedway.
Definitely.
Yeah. So he's a former racer. He does all of the tech inspections. So can you imagine knowing that much about all those different classes of cars to know whether or not they can pass tech inspections?
Right. Well, and a lot of tech inspection is safety inspection, which is a real important part of what the series wants, is they want everybody to be safe as well.
So there's that aspect of it, but you also got the people that work in the hot dog stand. Then you got the people up in the tower, the people that are actually guiding the race, the race director, and all of the people keeping. And then on top of that, every driver, if I'm not mistaken, has a transponder, so we know where they are on the track. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So, and then you have to coordinate driver introductions. You know, it truly is a dance card that you build to make sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be when to put on the show, because it's ultimately a show for the fans.
And, you know,
it is.
I have to compliment you as well on this commemorative Air Force flyover that you do at the beginning. What a great added attraction that is. Everybody loves it.
Yes, it's one of my favorite things. And what's really, you know, I wanted to do a flyover. Everyone's like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Flyover, come on. You know, I'm like, there's got to be a way. And when I was doing the marketing and promoting for my brother, the photographer at HMP is now in charge of those guys. That's what he does. He handles all the marketing and promotions for them and their involvement in Wings Over Houston.
Oh, cool.
And all that. So it was another racing relationship that led me to one of the coolest things we have now. I think it's my favorite thing. And
let's not forget the gals that work the ticket booth, because you know, I mean, that's another aspect that most people don't even think about. They don't get to see the race.
Yeah, but they're wonderful to go stop up and talk to. I've few times I've been.
One of the drawbacks, Gina, that I had was that archaic system that was in place before you got there, where you did your tickets before you even parked the car. The line was out on the road. It was just a mess. And I know that ticket booth that you're using had been flooded. The inside, it was all moldy and everything. They went in there and redid it all. So now the people walk up and buy a ticket, you know, and the way it should be, I think.
There's a lot of things that I wanted to change, and you're very limited because of funding. You know, you have to really be smart about what you do,
what you spend,
so you'll last. So you're stable and racing stays around, because for the show to grow, and by show I mean for more racers to come and more race cars to come, they have to be confident that you're going to be around, and so that takes time to build back up, especially if you're the only asphalt short track in Texas. If you go under, you've got a lot of guys, a lot of racers and women with stuff in their garage that's totally worthless. Who wants to do that? I definitely don't want to do that. So that is another thing I have to focus on. That really is a stress that stresses me out some too.
Well,
but that's what you have to do.
And I'm sure there's other people out there that go to the race, they look at it, they see it and say, man, I'd like to try and get into this. And so if they're going to make that investment to try and build a car and work their way up through the classes, they've got to know you're going to be there. Because otherwise, you know, I go out there and spend the money to build a car, and then you're gone.
I have to tell you, Gina, that EcoStock class, I have a whole different respect for those guys, because, well, and here's the reason, because I think that there's a $1,500 limit, because anybody could go out there and buy one of those things for $1,500.
It's a $2,200 claim rule. You can claim it. A fan can claim any race car he sees on that track for $2,200 and be racing it by the next race.
All right, I'm going to go out there with cash, and I'm going to buy that green Oldsmobile.
We could be in.
So in other words, what you are is you are a racer's crack, is what you are, waiting out there. Because I'm thinking, I only want $2,200. I'm in. So $2,200, and it does not include the pace car, and I just wanted to say that right up front. So,
that's just the EcoStock.
That's the EcoStock.
We've had two guys since the last race buy cars. and we're
So-
gonna have 2 more.
So if you claim it, then you got. So I guess you got to have a trailer to take it home, or
That's
something.
right. If
Yeah.
you come to the track with a trailer and cash, yes.
Yeah. So in other,
We're in business.
What's so cool about that is that so you, as a car owner, that you've gone to the junkyard, you pulled this thing out there, you've made it race ready because they still have safety regulations, right?
Okay.
And
Right.
these cars are mainly compact cars that are somewhere between 10 and 20 years old for the most part.
Right.
You follow me?
Uh-huh.
And some of these cars have been beaten. Matter of fact, one guy that I interviewed, the car had been upside down several times. No big deal. Just push it over,
Roll it back over.
and get it started, and away you go again. You know, and so that's the fun part of that, and I think everybody really likes it.
You know what's funny? I've got to tell you this real quick.
Yeah.
Will Planter, who you're talking about, Will Planter, he was upset because we like to change it up on the competition side and make them invert the top 6 sometimes.
Yep.
So it evens things out.
Sure.
It keeps things even. It's just racing karma. But anyway, he came up to me after the drivers meeting and said, man, you know, I work real hard. I work all week and I put it in the car and then I qualified great. I really was focused on my times and y'all invert me and I start 6th. And I said, okay, you know, I'm sorry. I talked to him a little bit. After the race he won, he came up to me in the stands. He said, Gina, forget all that. I loved it. Best thing ever.
Yeah, because it made him actually race
Yes.
cars.
He
when
had
he
to work at it.
That's right.
Well, I mean,
When I remember racing, I used to watch my dad. If he won on a Saturday night, they made him start in the back of the same field the next race. And honestly, everyone did that. If you won, you started in the back. I think that is what helps racers become great drivers and great competitors because of that, because you're going to want to win again. So you're going to drive a little more respectfully and you're going to learn a lot more, a lot faster than the other guy.
Yeah, you're going to push a little harder.
That's right. That's right.
well,
Definitely.
I think that you've got a great thing going out there, and hopefully word gets out to the entire world of what a great event, an affordable
Yes,
great
I hope
event,
so.
$15 for a ticket for an adult
Right.
to go out and have 2.5, 3 hours of fun on a Saturday night with the family.
What else are you going to do for $5 an
And
hour?
you know, I think, Gina, that people are really looking forward to getting out there, and that's the other thing too. Social distancing. The stands are big enough. You got plenty of room
Yes.
between everybody. You're outdoors. There's hand sanitizer out there. You want a hot dog? Great, they got them down there for $1. I understand that last race that ran out of beer.
Well, yes, people buy them by the buckets, the dollar beer bucket. And people say it's sold out. It's like, we have so much before the race. It sells out fast because people get a big group and each of them grab a bucket.
Hey, Josh Looper's online saying, somebody claim my car, please.
Well, Gina, we love you, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us. You know, we truly enjoy coming out there and being a part of the family. You've made that perfectly clear. And, you know, I think my word to everybody is that when you go out there, you're going to feel the family presence out there because it's run
very much
from
so.
by a family, and there are family people out there that are all involved, whether it's the concession stand or the race director or the guy that's mopping up the wreck out there in the infield.
Or you got family on the
Yeah.
track driving cars.
Yes.
There's that too.
Very much.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot. And speaking of family, Greg Davidson was not an Oldsmobile guy. He was a Pontiac guy. My mom called me. Said, Gina, you got to tell him that you were wrong.
What?
He
No,
was
it was a Pontiac.
I said, Mom, I thought it was Pontiac Olds. Wasn't it Pontiac Olds? I thought it was. I don't know.
No.
Well,
I had to correct that from the last show. Sorry.
Gina, we know how you millennials are.
Okay, I'll take that. I don't know if I want to be called a millennial, but I'll take being younger.
Thank you. Well, that's what I was going for. We love you,
Yes,
Gina
thank you.
Child Knowles.
Great
Thank-
job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Houston
guys.
Motorsports
Have a great
Park
day.
and the Texas Asphalt Racing Series out there. It's a great deal. We invite you to go out there next
fun.
Saturday night. Yeah, it is. We've got more of the In Wheel Time online show coming up right after this quick break.
Or B, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. A reminder that if you'd like to get in touch with us here at In Wheel Time, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for a look at This Week in Automotive History. And personally, I like This Week in Automotive History.
Yes, it's real interesting.
Yeah.
Really
Just
is.
a real quick comment. 105 Speedway, we were notified online that they have canceled for tonight, so the people in East Texas get an opportunity to heal from the storm damage. This Week in Automotive History, Cadillac was established by Henry Leland in 1901. In 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to ride in an automobile. Kind of cool. I tried to figure out what car it was.
1902?
1902. I tried to figure
Had
out
to
what
be
kind of
pretty
car
early.
it was, but I.
No,
I didn't know.
Oldsmobile.
Well, there was an Oldsmobile back then, but I don't think it was that. I'll find out for next week. Also, in 1904, Henry Weed of Conestoga, New York.
What a great last name. Hey, man, got some weed?
Issued a patent for grip tread for pneumatic tires.
God almighty.
So it was tire chains he ended up patenting in 1904.
No, here's a guy that clearly is into weed, and he invented snow chains.
Well, he lived in upstate New York. In 1913,
Weed.
automobiles were
Woodstock.
legally allowed into Yosemite National Park for the first time, which marked a significant change in the national park system by letting cars in. And then in 1922, a 23-liter car named Chitty Chitty Bang Bang won the first South Sea Speed Carnival, driven by Louis Zabrowski at 71 miles an hour.
Oh, my God. It's one of your people, Jeff Zekin, Mr. Labrowski.
And again, the name was reappeared in Ian Fleming's book about the magical car, and then in the 1968 movie of the same name by starring Dick Van Dyke. In 1940, LaSalle, which was a lower entry-level Cadillac brand, was discontinued after 14 years of production. In 1945, the last Cadillac-built M24 tank was produced as Cadillac was building vehicles for the war effort, World War II.
I want to go back to the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the 23 liters. You know what that is in cubic inches?
A ton.
1,403.546 cubic inches.
Massive.
1,400 cubic inches.
And he got it going 73 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, but he couldn't stop
Yeah,
it.
it took him 20 miles to stop.
God. You know what? He's related to the weed guy. I know that there's some sort of
Had to be
connection there.
a cousin or something.
This week in 1957, Ford rolled out the Edsel brand.
Oh, God.
In 1958, Maria Teixeira de Filippi was the first woman ever to complete a Formula One race.
I wonder if the street here in Houston called San Felipe, as you said, it's San Felipe, but whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some sort of a relationship.
Probably
there.
not. And there have actually been 6.
We're on the subject of weed, and so I had to kind of go there.
There,
you know,
there have been 6 women who've competed in Formula One racing as well.
I like how he's just ignoring you.
He's not ignoring me.
In 1959, the British Motor Company launches
He's sucking it all in.
its newest car, the affordable $800 Mark I Mini.
What?
The Mini was released in 1959, and it originally only cost $800.
Well, 1959 was a great year.
And then in 1985, first introduced what vehicle? 1985 vehicle brand.
Had to be an Oldsmobile.
Yugo. 1985 was Yugo was introduced, and probably in like 1987, Yugo went away.
It was recalled
because they had all rusted away. Do you know why Yugos came standard with a rear window defogger? To keep your hands warm while you pushed it. Sorry. And that was This Week in Automotive History.
My God. You know, I kind of felt at the beginning of the program that it was going to go off the tracks. This is about the third or fourth time that the show has gone off the tracks today. But that's okay.
Yeah, we have fun.
We do try to have fun here. So, as a matter of fact, what I've done is that I've just gone ahead and canceled all of the other breaks that we have, so I could at least kind of
get a little automotive news in here.
Just a little. Cadillac faces an ambitious to-do list as it prepares to make its lineup fully electric within the next decade, starting with the Lyriq crossover, unveiled this month. GM partnering with EVgo to add 2,700 fast charging stations to about 40 markets over the next 5 years. And the Lyriq will be powered by GM's proprietary Ultium batteries that will have a range of more than 300 miles at launch. Dealership service bays will need unique lifts to accommodate the batteries and special tools for EV service work. Many dealers fear that EV sales will yield little returns after they invest in charging and fixed operations equipment along with an EV training program.
Did you also hear that GM switched the Corvette engineering team over to the electric vehicle?
I did. I had that story, but, that's really not that unusual.
No, they're kind of wait until they come back for the C9 to come out. But, that I thought that was kind of odd to switch that whole engineering team over to EVs and autonomous vehicles.
They're not actually leaving Corvette. No. They're still there.
But their focus is going to be EV and autonomous
vehicles.
And
not only that, but it makes sense because that there's going to be an electric Corvette in the not too
or at least
distance.
a hybrid version, where they're going to have an electric.
I think they're going to go all electric.
You think they're going to go full electric?
Absolutely.
I think they are.
Absolutely.
They get a little bit more range on the battery.
Well, it'll have to be more than the 1,400 horsepower Mach-E.
Well, it will be.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it will be. Well, this last car standing in Ford Motor Company U.S. portfolio is going to stick around at least through the next decade. The automaker plans to stretch the next generation Mustang program to 8 years, up from a previously planned 6, suppliers have been told. Production of the next-gen Mustang will begin in late 2022 for the 23 model year, according to people familiar with Ford's product plans. Expectation for an 8-year program mirrors the life cycle of the current model, which went on sale in 2014. Not uncommon for automakers to shift product timelines in the years leading up to the launch of a new or redesigned model. Extending the 7th generation Mustang's life cycle could help Ford save on engineering and development costs.
It's profitable, and they want to keep it that way.
Well, U.S. sales of the Mustang fell another 12% to 33,000 in the first half of the year.
Oh, okay.
So, it's gotten long in the tooth, and they've done about all they can do with the current generation, so they need to get on with it.
Yeah, because all the kids that keep running them into the parking lots on the curbs whenever they leave the car shows need new ones.
Right. So did you hear that Amazon ordered 100,000 e-Sprinter vans, fully electric Sprinter vans?
I did, but you know what I think is going to happen with that? I think that this will be the last of that because I think that Amazon's going to start making their own, to be honest with you.
Could be.
Yeah.
You can order them on Amazon.
Order them on Amazon. That's right, Jeff.
Thank you very much. That's part of the reason that we have Jeff around here. I mean,
he's thinking ahead.
He's always thinking ahead. Well, you know what the sound means?
We need more Jeff.
We need more Jeff. That's exactly what that means. That is it for today's In Real Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like and share us with your friends. We got plenty of us to go around. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Real Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InRealTime.com. Podcasts are found on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is that fabulous David Ainsley. Our video and marketing maven is Jeffrey Zekin. The In-Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by the man from Uncle. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars and his royalty King Conrad DeLong, I am Don Armstrong saying so long for now, and we hope that you'll join us live next and every Saturday, 10 to noon, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In-Wheel Time family. Enjoy your weekend. Mask up, be fabulous, wash those nasty hands, and stay sanitary. Don Armstrong, Don Pardo saying, this is Don Pardo. So long for now, and good night.